this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. A few changes. Had a lot of people request, where's the Monday morning pep talk? Where's the hustler's mindset? So I'm going to bring it back here and I'm going to use the other channel for some other stuff. But some things that are on my mind. There was also a lot of people who was like, hey, you know, what about the free webinar, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, okay, so the new webinar, the link's below if you want to sign up. It's a month in advance, plenty of time to get your schedule in order. And with that, let's discuss taking people to the auctions and why I rarely did it. I got a question, and when I first started doing this, people were like, hey, can I hang out with you at the auction? And can I come to you at the auction? I had to step back and really think about how that question was being generated, because the auctions have this festive carnival atmosphere. And I didn't treat it like that, because when I was going to the auction, I was going to work. And I don't ask to tag along to your job as a firefighter or, a project manager or whatever you do. I don't like, hey, can I come hang out with you at your job? That's how I took that. And also, it creates a lot of problems, because before the TV shows came on, and that was the thing. It's like, hey, let's go to the auction. When you had certain gentleman agreements in place with other people that you were maybe not so close to, they got really offended when you just start bringing strangers around. It could cost you $200, $300, $400, $500 just to bring a friend. So I was real careful, and I never, ever brought anyone I was dating, because then that creates a whole nother barrel of monkeys in dissension and craziness, because you can't tell a chick that you just bought this room for $100 and then she wants the best thing out of there and she's giving you the ass every week, and you're going to say no. Because she's like, I'm giving you my most prized possession, and you're going to tell me no? I saw you only paid $100 for it. What's the problem? You don't love me? You don't care? The best way not to have that conversation is to don't take them. So I was real protective of my business. And I did have a few people I would take. I had a really good friend. He went with me for a few auctions. And what generates this video is we were talking this morning when I was walking, and he brought back a memory, because I remember I took him to an auction and bought some rooms, and then later on I say, hey, I want you to help me clean out. Like one room, and this guy was a artist rep, A&E, whatever they call it. And his room was very nice, clean, well organized. It was just like simple to clean out. And then we had the truck full, and I said, let me show you this other room I bought, right? $100, 10 by 20, full from the ruler to the tutor. And when the door went up, and the aroma, because it was a stinky room, there was a little stank. When the door came up, he said, whoo, I'm your boy, but I can't help you with that. And that $100 room, and not because it was just $100, was more profitable than the room I paid $450 for. It was because there was so much stuff in there. There was so much stuff in there. And he's a pretty smart guy. He's a nerd, And he didn't see the value in that, because the door up, and I was just like, okay, you see that nightstand? All right, you see that nightstand? That's 2 bedroom sets. I paid $100. Even if they're crap, that's $500 just for those 2 bedroom sets. If they're crap, if they're nice, $800 to $1,000 for those 2 bedroom sets. And went from the bedroom sets, and I was like, you see that cord right there? That's to a big screen television. He said, what? Then we moved some stuff, and there it was. And then I was like, okay, you see that? That pillow, that goes to an L sectional. And he's like, what? And couldn't get it out because it was all the way in the back. But later on, I showed him pictures, and it was exactly the sectional I told him was. And there was other stuff, and I like, you see the shopping bags, you see this, you see this. There was so many clues right there, and it's just funny. And because that's what the typical person's going to see when they go out to the auction. They're going to see some stuff, and they're going to go, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money for some junk. I've heard that so many times, and there's like a G right there in front. One of the things about this business is you're not going to get good going to the auction, looking at what other people buy and laughing at it, because you're not. There are many people who've been out there on the storage auction trail for years, sometimes 2 decades, and they never had a system. It's just because there were so many people that didn't know about it, that by showing up, you could get lucky just by showing up. That's no longer the case. You have to have a system, you have to have a plan, and you need to know what you're doing. Even with all that, you're going to buy a unit and you're going to lose your ass. You're going to buy a unit and you're going to lose money. This whole notion of that you're only going to be able to buy profitable units and never make a decision is a fantasy. And if you really cling to that fantasy with a great deal of tenacity, you should keep your janky ass at home. Because I'm not going to criticize you for being risk adverse. I'm going to criticize you for being risk adverse and putting yourself in a very risky situation, which is dumb as hell. I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you can't afford to lose some money, don't bet your rent money. Don't pull money out your 401k to do this business. If you don't have enough disposable income where you can put money at risk, keep your ass at home. Seriously. Keep your ass at home, because this is not a get rich quick thing. And this is something else that a few people who watch this channel have really picked up on. You make most of your money on the regular, run-of-the-mill, regular stuff. The big hits are nice, but they're not going to pay the mortgage every month. And the wow factor, that's great, but you may get that 3-4 times a year. You can't live on that. But the regular, run-of-the-mill stuff, you're going to get every week, every day, every month, every year. And if you set yourself up on a program where you can maximize and exploit the profits out of that, you can make a shitload of money. But everyone's kind of like, I want the nice stuff. I remember I was at an auction once, and this guy, I did a blog post about him a long time ago, because he's forever, ever not bringing his locks to auction. And he was like, because he had been buying junky units, I want a pretty unit. I want a pretty unit. He wanted a trophy unit. Get over it. The most important thing about this game is if you can buy something for $100 and then turn around and make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you won. Many people are looking at, they bought something for $100 and they didn't make 10 grand, it's a loss. You are stupid as hell, and your expectations are so vastly overinflated that you really need a reality check. The reality is you're going to need $1,000 to $3,000 a month to spend to be successful in this business now. That's the reality. If you want to be a part-timer and just go out there and splunk and talk to people and maybe get a few scraps here and there, cool. But if you want to call yourself a business person, a reseller professional, you need to up your game. You really do, because one of the things that I see here in this space is a lot of bitching and whining, not so much because people were duped or misled, but because they're going out there with this notion that they're going to get a unit and it's going to end their financial problems, or they're going to make so much money so quick, so easy, so fast. And when it doesn't happen, they're like, I was lied to. No, you weren't. You were a dumbass from jump. I didn't go out there with those expectations. It's a hard business. You really need to have, set yourself up. And that's one of the reasons that I'm creating the Reseller Mastermind group. And seriously, it's going to be a little different, because I'm going to really work on bringing people in there who are actually doing it, because it's cool to be a looky-loo. It's cool to be a looky-loo. It's cool to get some information. But when you have a group, and I learned this from creating the first group, and you have a bunch of people who are not players, who are not trying, if you bought one unit a month, you would learn so much. People aren't even doing that. So the new group is for the real, for the folks who are for real, who are out there, because the resale industry is not going anywhere. I'm going to start doing a lot of different stuff. But one of the things that you have to realize is this is not a festival. This is not a carnival. This is a business, and it will treat you as you treat it. If you treat it as something just to do, or it's fun and you may get something neat, okay, that's what you're going to get. But if you come up with a plan and you treat it as a business, that's what you're going to get. And it's hard. And it's going to be very challenging. It's going to be very, very, very challenging. Another thing I want to address in this video is appraisals. I am seeing this pop up all over the place. I got this thing and I need someone to go check it out. I got this thing and I need someone to go check this out. I have bought more units in a month than many of you are going to buy in a freaking year. And in any month, I rarely have someone go look at something because 98.5% of what you need to know you can find through Google, eBay, or some internet chat boards and get great information, and it's free. You're going to have to do the legwork. The whole take it to someone, get it appraised and all that stuff. That's TV thing. Because real appraisers don't do that shit for free. On TV, they do it because it gives them exposure. Because, it shows their it shows their store, and they give their name. So, that's like a commercial. So they're not actually doing it for free. They're getting some benefit from that. But here you come, Joe Jimmy Junk Boy. Well, hey, yeah, I bought this at the store, Jimmy, and I don't know what it is. Could you tell me what it's worth? And a lot of these people going to look at you like, are you out of your damn mind? I do this for a living. My appraisals start at $50. Now, when someone throws that at you and then it's like $50 and it ain't worth shit, then you're going to be mad, right? You shouldn't be. That's their business. Okay? So you've got to learn to separate the fantasy from the reality. The reality of this business is it's very hard. The reality is, for every one unit that you get that's like super great with wonderful stuff, you're probably going to buy 25 to 100 that are not so great. That they're going to be average to you actually lost money. That's the reality. Doesn't sound sexy, does it? Doesn't sound wonderful. But for me, it was. It was great because as you watch this channel and you see these stories, I got joy out of buying regular units because the people were interested. And that's something else. I have a few people who are actually like starting to see what I was talking about because they take the time to go through these units. A lot of you buy the units, throw all the pertinent stuff away like that, or give it back and don't even look at it. You're missing out on probably 75% of the joy being in this business. Because you're like, I gotta make the money, Shit, this is, you're doing a Barry. You're just throwing shit back there, don't care if it breaks. I've actually seen Barry throw shit out the unit that could have been $100, $200, $300, $400. I've seen it on TV. I'm just like, you're kidding me, dude. You don't throw furniture like that. One scratch on a piece of furniture can reduce the value by $50 to $150. One deep scratch. That's how much you can't do that stuff. So just a food for thought. Get away from the appraisals and really ask yourself, what do you want out of this business? Do you really want to get in the business, or do you just want to stay on the sidelines and look, which is cool. Being on the sidelines is cool. The problem is when you come off the sidelines, make sure your expectations and reality are here. Okay? When they're like that, you're going to have more fun. You're going to be more successful. But when your expectations are like here and reality's here, you're going to be one of those bitching, whiny, little scared little internet bitches that's just complaining all the time. I didn't complain when I was in the business. I had challenges. I had people running me up. But complaining does not move you forward. It does not. It is just another waste of oxygen. All right. Hopefully you got some from that. If not, oh well. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.